can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. I'm Lyndon B. Johnson.
2024 is our final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish.
Go after them, what do you mean?
Arrest them, imprison them for violating our Constitution.
How do you do that?
Police are probably with us.
I mean, the police will be on the side of
the Patriots. They sure will. They haven't been corrupted yet, as far as I know.
I mean, that's an actual civil war that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You believe that the election was stolen in 2020?
Absolutely.
One thing that helped your life.
Streets were safer. People were respected. The blue was respected.
Right. And when you say the blue, you're talking about the police.
You bet.
And what do you think's happened to that?
Woke took over.
What does woke mean to you?
Demented. They got real problems.
But how would you define it is what I mean?
How would I define it? They lack some values that I don't have. They're just a different bunch.
They're a different bunch. Everyone already knows that conservatives don't really know what woke is. All they know is that they don't like it because their leaders have told them 1,000 times that it's simply those other people that we just don't like. A perfect example is immigration.
What's one thing that Trump did when he was president? One thing that made your life better?
Well, it kept the illegal immigrants at a minimum.
And how did that help your life specifically?
Because, he's... Well, with all the people coming over here and the drugs and all that over here, I mean, the kids ain't got a chance.
When Trump first promised he was going to target and punish certain migrants, his supporters celebrated what they imagined was an end to a cartoonish image that they'd been sold by their party, where scary migrants are pouring into the country, and all we needed was an angry and vicious policy to end it.
One thing he did to make your life better.
What I really am concerned about is the border and all the people coming through. I was not worried about that. I felt safe when he was president. I don't feel safe now.
Even in the middle of Iowa.
Up here, we get them too. We get illegal immigrants all the time. And so who knows who's coming through the border, right?
Right. Well, there is a process for most of them who are coming across.
I think most of them are coming across illegally. That's my opinion. You say there's a process. The process is, hi, how you doing? Here's some water. Go on in. Have that. That's the process. I don't believe that there's any other process than just people.
Even though they're not.
What was one thing he did that you loved?
Best thing he did love, I'd say, more or less, he helped out more or less like our trade deal, put tariffs against China, so we get more of free trade what was coming in.
And that hurt some farmers in this state, though, didn't it?
Well, of course it did.
What about the tariffs, though? Did that hurt?
No, he helped us farmers. Trump helped us with the farming and the agriculture.
Even with the tariffs, because a lot of farmers said we're going to have to bite the bullet here.
These dumbass white folks still ain't got their farm bill passed yet.
That didn't hurt us.
Damn
that
shame,
helps us down the
goofies.
road in the long run.
It's okay.
It helped your life.
Well, I'll be very honest with you. I am all about biblical, civical truth.
No, your
And
racist ass ain't.
He believed in one man.
How the fuck
one
Trump
woman
believe in
for
that when he
marriage.
just got
He did
convicted
not
of
believe
rape?
in abortion. He did
She
not
a lying ass
believe
racist.
in the LGBTQ, whatever they're doing.
He wasn't. Yes. Yeah. Most definitely, because children have gotten away from that. Because they have, and it needs to be put back in all the schools, Catholic schools and public schools.
So you want the Bible back in school? Do you think there are books that should be banned from schools?
Yeah, of course.
There is a book that has a story of two daughters getting their father drunk and having sex with them. Would you want that in a school?
No, absolutely. Of course not. Of course not.
No,
That's outrageous.
that's the devil's work. We don't want the devil's work in school.
All right, well, there you have it. Talk to some people who want the Bible taught in school, but also want the Bible banned in school. So
There isn't a clearer illustration of how severely politics uses people who consider themselves Christians as clueless pawns in their quest for power. And like most things with political leadership, it's more important to portray a positive scene than it is to do the homework to make it real.
The gates of hell will not prevail against him. Lord, we speak this over him. Lord, I pray for protection over him. I pray for protection over his
Now you tell me fucking honestly, these people don't look like they doing the fucking devil's work.
Yes. Lord, they will come to nothing, and the traps that have been laid against them. Lord, the people that laid the traps, they will be caught in their own
Fucking American racists are so fucking sick, and they blame it all on the motherfucking book. And you gotta remember, these are the same people that thought it was a sin just to wash their ass before the Moors went over there to Europe. Sick fucks. This is the main reason you gotta keep politics and church separate, because these motherfuckers sick.
That gaggle of fake pastors praying over a guy that has proven over and over again that he harbors disdain for Christianity was just a performance meant to galvanize supporters' loyalty to anything that he represents. Anything from lying to sexual assault to ripping off countless people. And in fact, as soon as he left those false prophets and went on stage in Iowa, he criticized the governor for a lack of loyalty to him.
We want Iowa people. We want, well, you know, with your governor, we have, I got along with her very well. No, I got along with her very well. I mean, you know, I helped her a lot. And I came in, I did a big rally, I did a big endorsement of her. I fought like hell, and she ended up winning, right? And then the second time was much easier. So I did all these things, and then I spoke to Kim about, 4 or 5 months ago, whatever. And she said, I'd like to remain neutral. I said, I'd like to remain neutral too. I didn't have to come here and do rallies for you. And I read where she's going to support Ron DeSanctimonious, who's like 50 points, who in the nation is like 50 points down and very substantially down here. And I mean, that was her choice to do this. But I believe in loyalty. I didn't say I'm going to do this. I don't care if she endorses me or not. It's not going to make any difference because the only endorsement that matters is a Trump endorsement. I hate to say it. But when somebody does that, that's a lack of loyalty. But they said, sir, people don't care about loyalty. I said, I think they do.
Religion is the perfect tool for con men and fraudsters to use to gain the undying trust and support of followers that think if they question this self-proclaimed man of God, they're questioning and rejecting God himself. They think they're betting their entire lives and souls on it. We've seen Trump clumsily holding a Bible as if he's never touched one in his entire life.
They're ganging up on Trump as a way to try to disqualify him, and I just don't think that's right.
And what about what they've done to Hunter Biden with indicting him for felonious gun ownership and tax evasion?
I think they need to go after Hunter Biden however they can.
But not Donald Trump.
No.
So there's the double standard I'd like to see him do as president.
Open up the pipeline.
Because?
Lower the fuel and all this and that like we did before. The groceries were crazy.
You know, the price of gas is only a little higher now than it was on the last day that President Trump was in office. Do you think presidents have much to do with the price of oil, price of gas?
I think the when they shut the pipeline down, I think he did. Yeah.
And that changed it all there?
I think so.
Trump told his followers that the pipelines would have changed the landscape of insane fuel prices, so they believed him. But he also told them that he worked hard to raise the prices too. They don't seem to have been listening then when he accidentally spilled the beans in the middle of this brag fest.
I had to save the oil companies. They were all going to go bust. I said, this is the first time I've ever said we got to get it up a little bit. I actually called Russia and the King of Saudi Arabia. We had a three-way call, and we cut back on the oil because it was so incredible. Helped fill up the strategic national reserves, and he's now taken all of that to reduce gasoline prices for cars just prior to the election. Very artificially.
That story doesn't even seem very feasible. But when the former president is on a roll with taking credit for everything positive and denying responsibility for things that are negative, he gets confused every once in a while. So how has MAGA been conditioned to respond when a thing or two goes well during the Biden administration?
The joblessness rate is down. People say inflation is now down and the economy is coming back, albeit slowly. Do you credit President Biden with any of that?
No.
Do you blame President Biden for the economy?
Yes, I mean, I would say it started from petroleum when he first got in there, shutting the pipeline down.
But if the economy is now recovering, does he not then get credit for that?
I would say no, because when you make it completely then you just bring it back to you don't get credit for the positive side of that.
So
Do
he
these
inherited,
fucking
like, what
people
you
even think
refer
before
to
they
as a good
speak?
economy from Trump, and then he made it worse?
I wouldn't say it was but I would say Trump really got blindsided by COVID, which is a conspiracy itself, but yeah, I don't know.
Notice he accidentally called Trump's economy until Michael Schur highlighted that it was the main driver to his argument. Then suddenly COVID entered the conversation.
Would you say it's a conspiracy? You mean?
Well, I mean, it was impeccable timing when it happened, when COVID happened.
So you think it was intentional?
Oh yeah. Yep.
In what way?
Well, I would say with the trade with China, or just the way everything was great. The best thing you have to do is bankrupt the country and shut Trump's economy down, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was brilliant.
But you think it was intentional?
Trouble.
What trouble?
That's racism and all that.
The division of the United States has all come from Obama.
In what way?
Because he's black and he tore it one way and tore it one way. And I mean, they expect you to believe what they say.
Listen to these racist fucks in Iowa, man. It's a goddamn shame. It's 2024 and these motherfuckers this
The
racist.
White House to cleanse it of all that blackness that Obama left all over the place. MAGA really thinks that someone existing as a black person is what causes their racism. And being black in a position of power, ultra racism.
He's
Even
not running
worse.
the country.
Who's running the country then?
Oh, Barack Obama.
So, with that piece of MAGA information, no one can find anything that Barack Obama has accomplished in his third term.
Is there anything that President Biden has done that you...
One thing right. He did not do one thing right. He's done everything to hurt this country. And, shutting the oil off on day one, opening the borders. If they can open up borders and get away with that, they can get away with anything. And they're proving that they are getting away with anything.
You know the crazy thing about this statement? Biden kept Trump's policies for the border intact. Crazy.
Have to come back and get Trump back in there to straighten this mess out. But there's been a lot of damage done already.
Is there anything that he's done as president that has been of value?
Nope. Run our gas prices up and wants to get rid of our Social Security and that.
From the first time around in 2010, I just laid out the reality of Social Security. It's a legal Ponzi scheme. It is.
Social Security goes bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare goes bankrupt in 8. Anyone that says they're not going to take on entitlement reform means
This
they're
is
gonna
all
go
a
in and be
lie.
president,
And
leave
President
the country
Reagan
bankrupt.
told the
You change
American
it. You say
people
we're
that.
gonna
They
raise
ain't doing
some
shit but
retirement
lying
age.
to their
Talk about
constituents.
President Biden a
Facts.
little bit. Is there anything he's done that you can point to as being good for America?
I mean, I hate to say it, don't judge me for this, but I kind of like the whole student loan thing. But again, everybody's gonna pay for everybody's student loans. So honestly, no, I can't think of anything that he's done for me, honestly.
What about the infrastructure bill that put a lot of people to work?
It is what it is.
Is there anything that President Biden did that you like?
No, I can't think of nothing. He got us in the wars and all that stuff. No.
So he didn't start the wars, but you still blame him for that.
Yes, I do. I blame him for that. Trump. He never had no war. He brought our troop home. I can't believe what Biden did to the Afghanistan. He pulled those troops out. Trump. He never had no war. He brought our troop home. I can't believe what Biden did to.
Listen to this dumb racist fuck.
And, didn't even have time to, thank. He's watching his watch and all that good stuff.
Now, the worst thing that's been done is the infrastructure bill. That will clearly lead to fields of old, abandoned electric cars that, for some reason, we can't recycle like gas-powered vehicles.
Tell me 3 Democratic policies that you support.
Inflation Reduction Act, American Rescue Plan, the Infrastructure Law, the PACT Act, the Chips and Science Act. I think it's good that Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. I can go on.
No, I get it. Wow. Okay, would you like to talk about the pullout of Afghanistan?
Why did you feel bothered that I just listed policies I think are good?
Because
I think it's great that he lowers prescription drug costs.
You don't know enough about those policies.
So one of them in the Inflation Reduction Act is capping the cost of insulin for Medicare recipients at $35 out of pocket per month. And I think that's really good. I don't think seniors should be having themselves price gouged. And now Medicare will negotiate drug prices. I think that's really good because of Joe Biden and Democrats.
I think Joe Biden is an illegitimate president. I think the election was stolen, and I think he's going to be killed for his treason. How about that?
Saying this, but I firmly hold that Obama's still in the White House. I think Obama is pushing Joe's buttons. If you look at Israel, Joe Biden called for a pause. Where do you think that came from? I think it came from Biden. I think it came from Obama himself. Those are his people. Surely he wants to give his people time to resupply and regroup.
When you say his people, whose people?
Islam.
Racist people are so dumb, so dumb.
Obama's.
Why do you say that?
Well,
he wrote it in his book.
Yeah,
If the political wind shall shift, I stand with my brothers, and he's talking about the Muslim Brotherhood.
Exactly.
So you think that you're saying that he's a Muslim?
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, Barack Obama?
Oh yes. I believe he is. Yep.
He claimed to have been a Christian, but that was all a lie.
Obama came on board. When Obama came on board, he was I gotta say, I voted for him first time. Then 1 year, almost to the day, it shifted. It changed. He was a snake in the grass then, and he's a snake in the grass now.
Weird that after entire campaigns of Republicans and some Democrats claiming that President Obama is Muslim, as if that would be disqualifying in the first place, these folks said that they still voted for him in 2008, only to base their hatred for him on it years later. So what changed? Jobless numbers or something?
Whatever we think of Obama, we're just talking about history, joblessness numbers were down. He created the...
Oh, hey, let's look at some numbers, shall we? Okay, you'll see here, Obama's in the blue. This is average job growth per month, right? Oh, look, those numbers are higher after the recession. Wow, and oh, when you get to Trump in those numbers, those little gray things are smaller. Oh, whoa, and then it gets very small down there. Crazy, right? Wow.
Then, of course, we had the pandemic.
The U.S. death toll from COVID-19 has passed that of the 1918 flu pandemic. Of course, the comparison is a little unfair because 100 years ago, people had common sense.
Donald Trump's fault.
It was his lies about COVID-19. There was the lie that the virus that is much deadlier than the flu was equivalent to the flu.
This is a flu. This is like a flu.
The lie that the pandemic situation, which was always out of control, was, quote, totally under control.
We have it totally under control.
And there was the lie that he repeated dozens of times that the virus that was spreading more and more widely was disappearing.
It is disappearing.
All of these claims suggested to Americans that they didn't have to change much about their behavior, and many of them did not. Now, we can't quantify how things would have been different had the president been more honest, but we're at more than 390,000 American deaths. And it's more than reasonable to venture that at least some of them would have been avoided if Trump had told the truth.
Hey, where are the fact checkers? You know, some of the most dishonest people in media are the so-called fact checkers.
It has generally been pretty depressing fact-checking every word from Donald Trump for 4 years. I think the single most depressing lie is his lie that he is the actual winner of the 2020 election.
I've been in 2 elections. I won them both, and the second one I won much bigger than the first, okay?
Now, it's depressing because of how egregious it is. It's a straight up-is-down reversal of verifiable reality. But it's even more depressing because of how many millions of Trump supporters believe it's the truth, and how deadly and destabilizing we're now clear that false belief can be. I think the saga of this particular lie has taught us that the nation's truth problem goes far beyond a Trump problem.
And Biden has continued that job growth.
Job growth, Trump versus Biden. During the 4 years of the Trump administration, America lost 2.9 million jobs. In under 2 years under Biden, America has already gained more than 10 million jobs. Any questions?
When we talk about jobs.
You say Biden.
Now, we just gave y'all the numbers for a reason. Check out this racist idiot theory. He don't know what the fuck he talking about. I hate fucking racists.
I mean,
Biden has not given job growth at all. When she lost her job because of the pandemic, and I lost my job because of the pandemic, those are two jobs now available, right? Since the pandemic has ended, we've all been able to go back to work. Biden.
So Trump loses 2.9. Everybody gained their jobs back, the whole 2.9. Then Biden sent it up a whole 7 million. What is this goofy ass racist talking about? A whole bunch of nothing. Just a hating ass old white man for no reason. Take your ass back to Europe.
As a win.
See, this is their problem. They only think they white racist ass is the only Americans when they not even Americans. Y'all the motherfucking immigrants that's here really illegally, motherfucker. Stop thinking for yourself and all selfishly. And maybe y'all can get some motherfucking well. Cause that motherfucker Trump don't got no love for none of you poor white motherfuckers. But let me give y'all Biden job numbers one more time for the slow ass racist people in the back.
Job growth, Trump versus Biden. During the 4 years of the Trump administration, America lost 2.9 million jobs. In under 2 years under Biden, America has already gained more than 10 million jobs. Any questions?
It's him that made us.
White people just lie with so much fucking conviction like they telling the fucking truth, racist ass liars.
I'm just saying the Department of Labor is crediting the infrastructure bill with creating a lot of jobs.
Yeah,
and you don't believe it?
Nope.
Is there anything good about President Biden that you do believe?
Nope.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Zero. Nope.
Not one thing.
So even if they say joblessness is down, even if they say the economy is coming back, you don't believe that?
Nope.
Nope. He's weak. We don't need a weak leader.
No, I'm just talking about his accomplishment-wise, forgetting personality and what you think of him.
Yeah, I don't think Joe's accomplished any good for this country. Not a bit.
Even though the same metrics that are used to determine whether or not Trump or Clinton or Carter were good presidents on jobs and the economy, are when applied to Biden, they don't matter.
Well, no, they don't. They really don't.
Pretty clear illustration of how identity politics runs the mindset of MAGA conservatives. Standards and regular measures of the economy and
Diversity
jobs.
is good, but too much diversity will kill a country. Look at Europe. I mean, and this is what I'm at. I mean, that's what America First needs.
This white racist ass really saying take care of white folks first and fuck everybody else because they feel they the real Americans. Get the fuck out of
I
here.
want to say, come to this country and respect our laws. Come here with pride.
I just wish somebody would have told his diseased, infested ass ancestors that shit before they brought they stinking ass over here.
If you don't have a common language, you have nothing.
America doesn't have an official language.
How about English?
They don't.
Well, what I'm saying is you can call it official or unofficial, but it's acceptable that if we don't have a common language, in other words, go to a store, go to anywhere, and if you can't speak the language, if I don't understand you, how are you going to communicate?
Right, but what I mean is, like, let's say California or Florida or Texas, majority Spanish speaking. Would you say that?
No, America wasn't founded on Spanish speaking. It's an English, Judeo-Christian country, period. Okay, and the end of story. I mean, you can have other cultures. My wife's family is 100% Italian. They spoke Italian, but when they're outside in the world, they spoke English.
Right, because it was the prevailing language here, but it wasn't an official.
No, well, it doesn't have to be official, but it's somewhat acceptable. How about?
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I was asking. It's like, let's say California becomes 70% Spanish speaking. That's the accepted language there.
No, because California is still a state of this wonderful country, and so I'm thinking, here's my point on the whole thing. It's fine to be bilingual or multilingual and to learn different languages. I'm all for it. I learned Spanish in school when I was a kid. Fine, but you have to have a country uniting on something. If you don't have, you can be whatever ethnic group you are, French, I don't care what you are, Italian. Appreciate and love your heritage. Beautiful. But we have to come unite. You're not going to be united on one common thing. What can we unite again on? Language? If you can't at least speak the same language, you can have your culture. But how about embrace one common denominator that will unite us? See, what they're trying to do now is divide us. They want all these different factions, all these different nationalities, and it's driving people apart. I want to bring people to come together. The only way in my mind to do that is to speak the same language.